The seed that took 2 winters. Ah, my disciples. A young squirrel planted a seed, then sat beside it, staring. Each day, grow. Each night, why haven't you sprouted? But the seed was not lazy. It was preparing. 2 winters passed, and one spring it emerged, small but strong. Some things, my disciples, bloom only after deep rest. Do not rush the seed. Let it root in time. The squirrel who fed her young, slowly. There once was a mother squirrel, tired and tender. Her young chirped and tugged and squeaked. They wanted to run before they could climb, but she fed them slowly. 1 nut, 1 lesson, 1 leap at a time. And now, years later, they leap through the canopy with ease. Ah, my disciples, your care does not need to be fast to be good. Patience is the shape that love often takes. The branch that bent with the wind. Ah, the young branches snap in the storm, but the old ones, they bend. They have learned that fighting the wind only breaks you. So too, my disciples, with anger, grief, change, do not force your way through. Wait, bend, let the storm pass, and rise again. The squirrel who hunted the quietest nut. Ah, the loudest squirrels dash for the shiniest acorns. But one wise squirrel, he sat, listened, he waited, and found the oldest nut, buried, rich, forgotten. Sometimes the best treasures are found not by chasing, but by listening. Wait long enough, and you may find what others missed. 5. The tree who didn't mind being last to bloom. There once was a tree who always bloomed weeks after the rest. The others teased it, but it smiled. I'm not late, it said. I'm just not in a hurry. And when its blossoms came, they were the sweetest of all. So too, my disciples, you are not behind. You are on your own blooming schedule. The squirrel who let her wound heal. A squirrel once tore her paw. She wanted to leap again, to prove her strength. But the wise owl said, rest, and though it ached to be still, she waited, and healed. Now her leaps are stronger than ever. My disciples, sometimes patience looks like stillness. Trust the pause. 7. The river who waited for the stone to wear down. A great stone blocked a stream. The stream did not scream. It did not push. It flowed around, under, alongside, year after year, until one day the stone was gone. My disciples, some obstacles are not removed by force, but by time. The squirrel who waited for the right mate. Many squirrels leap quickly into love, chatter, impress, pair, and sometimes regret. But one squirrel waited. She watched, listened, sat beside many before choosing one, and when she chose, it was peace. My disciples, do not rush connection. Wait for someone whose silence feels like home. The leaf that fell last. When autumn came, the leaves let go. But one held on. The other said, why are you afraid? The leaf said, I'm not afraid. I'm just not ready. And when it finally fell, it caught the last golden ray of sun. Do not let go before your heart is ready. Even falling has its perfect time. The mushroom that grew in the dark. My disciples, mushrooms do not grow in sunlight. They grow in shadow, in silence, in compost. They take their time, and then, overnight, they appear. So too with insight. You may be in the dark now, but trust. Something is growing. The squirrel who stopped mid-climb. A young squirrel raced up the tallest tree. Halfway up, her paws trembled. She wanted to quit or rush, but instead, she paused, she breathed, she waited, then climbed again, stronger. My disciples, sometimes patience is not stopping. It's catching your breath, the log that held the sun. There was once a log who soaked up morning sun. Then when the rain came, it released that warmth slowly. It did not rush, and because of that, it comforted others. So too, my disciples, let what nourishes you sink deep, and share it in time. The nest built one twig at a time. One squirrel boasted, "I built my nest in one day." But when the wind came, it blew away. Another squirrel took a week. Each twig carefully placed, her nest stood strong. My disciples, let patience build what speed cannot. The squirrel who waited to speak. A heated circle of squirrels argued. One sat silent. When the shouting paused, she spoke one sentence, and all listened. Words land better when they are not rushed. Let your truth steep, like tea, then speak. The fruit that took a season to sweeten, a young squirrel bit into a green fruit. Too sour, he cried. He tossed it away. But an elder said, "Wait." And days later, the fruit had ripened, soft, golden, perfect. My disciples, do not rush your joy. It will ripen when it's ready. The spider who rebuilt her web. Storms come, webs tear, but does the spider weep? No, she rests. She rebuilds, thread by thread. She does not rush, because she knows the web will be strong again, and so will you. The snow that did not hurry to melt. The sun returned, the snow began to thaw. But some flakes held on. They melted slowly, feeding the soil beneath. "I'm not late," they said. "I'm thorough." My disciples, let your thaw be your own. Even the slowest melt nourishes the roots. The squirrel who waited to forgive. Wounds hurt. But one squirrel did not forgive quickly, not out of spite, but honesty. She waited until her heart was ready, and when she forgave, it was true. My disciples, do not fake patience. Practice it. Let the heart move in its own time. The sun who rose one ray at a time. The dawn does not rush. It begins with a glow, a shimmer, a slow golden stretch. Only then, the full light, so too your awakening. Let it come slowly. Do not chase it. Let it rise in you. The path who did not end in one day. A squirrel began a long journey. He thought he'd reach the end by sunset, but he was wrong. He climbed, rested, wandered, returned, tried again, and after many days, he arrived. My disciples, the path is not one leap. It is many. Be patient with your becoming. The heart that beat even in stillness. And finally, my disciples, there is a kind of patience that is not waiting for anything. It is simply being, like the heart that beats, even when you are still, like the breath that comes and goes. You do not need a finish line to be at peace. Just sit, breathe, and trust in what is already moving inside you. The nut that needed the right season. There was once a nut buried too soon. The soil was frozen, the air dry, and so it did not grow. But the squirrel who buried it did not despair. She returned the next spring, and there it was, sprouting. My disciples, not every effort shows fruit right away. Sometimes the season must shift before the seed becomes more. Trust the timing. Plant anyway. The squirrel who waited through the night. One night a storm raged. Young squirrels chattered in fear. Let's sleep. Let's hide. But one old squirrel stayed still in the hollow of the tree. She knew the forest. She knew the storm. And by morning, the light returned. Some wisdom only comes from sitting through the darkness, not fleeing it. The root that took the long way, a root once tried to grow straight down, but hit rock. Rather than give up, it curled, around, through, beneath, Years later, it reached deep water. Ah, my disciples, when the direct path is blocked, patience finds another. Winding does not mean lost. The egg that was not ready to hatch. Ah. A young bird tapped her shell too early. The others had not yet pecked once, and so she sat, cold and alone, before her body was strong. But one chick waited, listened, grew, and when it hatched, it flew first. So too, my disciples, not all cracking is progress. Grow before you leap. The squirrel who held silence with a friend, a grieving friend came to sit beside a squirrel. They said nothing, not for minutes, not for hours, just stillness. The grieving one cried. The other, only later did the friend whisper, "Thank you for not filling the silence." Ah, sometimes patience is not saying what you think. It is waiting with someone until they are ready to speak. The path that returned you to yourself. A squirrel got lost in the fog. She ran, panicked, looped back, until she sat down. And in the stillness, she saw the mark she had left before. She was home. My disciples, sometimes patience is stopping long enough to realize you've already arrived. The tree who did not compare its growth. Ah, one tree grew tall quickly. Another stayed low, twisted, close to the ground. Am I wrong? It asked, but the wind came, and the tall one broke. The small tree bent and lived. You too may grow slower than others. Do not compare trunks. Measure only your roots. The squirrel who waited to be understood. A squirrel shared her truth, and no one listened, so she grew quiet. But instead of shouting louder, she waited. And when another squirrel came, ready to hear, she spoke again. And this time, she was heard. Ah, patience is not silence. It is waiting for the ears that are ready. The web that caught only when the wind stilled. A spider spun her web, but the wind blew wildly. She waited, still, invisible. Then the air calmed, and in that quiet, the first dew formed on the threads and shimmered. My disciples, sometimes what you're waiting for is not the goal. It's the stillness that allows it to be seen. The squirrel who was patient with herself. And lastly, my gentle disciples. One squirrel forgot. She stumbled. She dropped her nut. She sighed, but then she paused and said softly, "That was hard, and I am learning." And she tried again. My disciples, be patient with yourself. You are not slow. You are sacred, and you are still becoming. The acorn who did not envy the flower. Ah, a squirrel once asked, "Why do the flowers bloom so quickly, while my acorns take so long?" The tree replied, "Because beauty and nourishment have different timelines. The flower feeds the eye, but the acorn feeds the future." My disciples, do not rush to be noticed. Become what lasts. The squirrel who waited to return home. There was once a squirrel who had left her home in anger. Days passed. She wanted to return, but feared she wasn't ready, so she waited. She softened, and when she came back, she did not come with excuses, but with presence, and was received in peace. Sometimes, patience means waiting until your return can be a reunion. The wind who could not be chased. A young squirrel once tried to catch the wind. He leapt, twirled, climbed, chased, but the wind only danced farther. Tired, he sat, and in that moment, the wind brushed against his cheek. My disciples, some things cannot be caught. They can only be received when you stop chasing. The burrow that took a week to dig. A squirrel once dug a burrow in one furious afternoon. It collapsed. Another dug slowly, carefully, rested often. Her burrow held through storms. My disciples, speed builds quickly. Patience builds forever. the squirrel who did not finish first. In a race to the top of the pine, one squirrel scurried fast and won. The others cheered, but one older squirrel arrived last. Calm, steady, he looked out and whispered, "I saw things along the way none of you did." Finishing quickly is not always finishing well. Let your path be full, not just fast. The cloud who waited to speak. A gathering of clouds planned to storm. One began to thunder, loud and reckless, but another held back. I will speak only when my words bring clarity. And when it rumbled, the rain fell gentle and clean. So too, my disciples, patience in words creates peace in skies. The young one who wanted to know it all. A young squirrel once asked, "Master Nutzen, when will I know everything?" I said, "Never." She frowned. I smiled. But if you are patient, you may come to love the not knowing, and she did. Patience is not just for arrival, my disciples. It is for learning to sit in the mystery. The sun who took all day to set. Each evening the forest watches the sun. It could drop fast behind the hills, but it doesn't. It lingers, glows, paints the sky in colors no one rushes past. Even endings can be slow and still beautiful. Let things finish in their own time. The squirrel who waited for her turn to speak. At the council tree, many voices rose. One squirrel waited. She listened, not just to respond, but to understand. When she spoke, her words wrapped around the whole circle like bark around wood. Patience listens more than it speaks. Let your words grow from quiet soil, the dream that took years to arrive. A squirrel once dreamed of a home in the tallest cedar, but year after year she lived in smaller trees, saved nuts, learned storms, helped others, and one day, without noticing, it came. She had climbed the cedar, and it felt like home. My disciples, dreams do not arrive at once. They build themselves around you as you wait.